Hey guys, I'm B,
And I'm Sasa.
and we are
Petty and plus size. Cheers. So happy Father's Day to all the girls that don't really have fathers in their lives. I'm feeling like that song by Tia Marie. You know that song, right?
No, I don't. I heard you
I ain't
sing
had
it.
no daddy around when I was growing up.
I don't
That's
know
why
it,
I'm
but I'm gonna
wild
just
and I
go
don't
along
give a
and
fuck.
dance.
See, this is the age gap between us because we have
Yeah.
like 7 years apart.
But still
So
bad bitches though.
you're right, period. So how was your week?
It was good. It was more of a chill weekend, a chill week, chill weekend. And we had a party yesterday for Father's Day, but other than that, I mean, it's been a cool. How was yours?
It was good. Today I went hiking in Malibu Canyon. That
I
was
seen the video.
beautiful. It was so nice. And then yesterday I actually went thrift shopping with my sister,
Exciting.
which is a great segue because today's topic is
Struggles of finding clothes as a plus size woman because it has changed over time since we were younger. There's many clothes, there's many online shopping such as Fashion Nova, Shein, what else? The list goes on and on, such as Torrid.
cider. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never had cider, but
Yeah, I've heard
is
good
it?
things. Okay, so boom. I am 34 years old and growing up, I was born in 92 and growing up plus size. I've been like husky plus size since I was 6 or 7. 6, 7. Since I was 6 or 7 years old. I remember weighing like 100 pounds in second grade and that not being the same as everybody else around me. And especially in the early 2000s, the plus size clothes was very much giving business casual. It was very much giving, I just left the office and I'm ready for the club. Because what do you mean I'm wearing a blazer and some slacks at 14 years old? Like I literally used to dress like so because there was no options for us. Like I remember, because mind you, okay, I was 14, I was born in 92, so it was like what, 2005, 2006 era, whatever. And I remember my grandmother taking me to the first one that I remember was like the first designated plus size store that I ever went to was Catherine's.
Oh, you're lucky. I never had that.
Yeah, so my grandma had a credit card with them. So that's why we went there.
Okay.
And
Period.
my
Shout out
grandma loved
grandma.
to spend, but she
Yeah.
did not have the money to spend. But that wasn't my problem. So
Period.
we went to Catherine's. Now, if you guys are familiar, have you ever been to Catherine's?
No, I've never even heard of it.
Bitch, Catherine's is like a step. Like if we're rating things on a grandmother scale, and like Torrid is at a 0, Catherine's like at a 10.
Oh.
It was giving very
Okay.
much like business attire, like little cardigans and this and that, like things that a 14-year-old should not be wearing because it looks so old. But I could not fit. Like I could not fit. Like I remember being by 8th grade, I was already in a size 18. So like I could not find clothes in my own size, like kids' clothes. So we would go to Catherine's and my grandma would hook me up with clothes. And I mean, some of the pieces were fine, but most of them were very much like mature. Then I remember the first time I ever walked into Torrid, and Torrid was a brand new concept. And the idea of we are gonna size everything not under 2X, 3X, 4X, but 0, 1, 2, and 3, and 4. That was brand new for me. And I had never experienced, even at Catherine's, like, yeah, it was plus size clothes, but it wasn't cute plus size clothes. It was just like literally clothes to cover your body, you know? But I remember walking into Torrid for the first time and really being like, there are clothes here for me that are cute and can fit.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I had ever experienced that. And by the time I walked into Torrid, I want to say it was around 8th grade or so, 8th grade, 9th grade.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And it was like the first time I had ever like felt seen in a way. And if I Because mind you, this is before online ordering. I'm really aging myself, but this is like before online ordering,
Still
before,
a
I
baddie.
mean, Amazon existed, but it was nowhere near to like what it is today, in
Yeah.
like the early 2000s.
There's
And
so many options
oh
now.
my God, so many
Yeah.
options. But also like the aesthetic back then was like washboard abs. And I've
What is
had
that?
like a washboard abs. It's like basically like a super flat stomach
Oh, okay,
with like
okay.
no percent of fat at all on your
Okay,
body.
okay.
And like I've had an apron belly for a long time,
Yeah.
and so it was just like I was not fitting in with everybody else. So when I had went to Torrid for the first time and saw like skirts that were cute and like
Mhm.
shirts that were cute, and mind you, like if you know, like Torrid is very much known for like putting skulls and like cold
Yeah.
shoulders on everything.
Mhm.
But that was also the look at the time. And I think Torrid, the reason why a lot of people hate on Torrid now is because I feel like they haven't really advanced their style since
They
then.
haven't.
But in the early 2000s, that was the look. So,
Mhm.
like back then, it was very much like current. I
Yeah.
don't feel like Torrid is current now, but that's how
I know they are trying to change their
they're trying
style
to
because I
change.
did go in not too long ago to find a skirt for I think for Thanksgiving. I'm like, okay, maybe I'm gonna find a cute skirt, my size, whatever. She was like, no, like I asked the lady, and she's like, no, I'm trying to put in. I guess they had like a meeting,
Yeah.
and they don't have that many options for skirts. Mostly like pants, leggings, and But she was like, oh no, like don't worry, I put in a request to like have skirts available. Maybe like a week or two later, I went back, they had skirts available now, so it's like
Good.
that's all it takes.
Yeah, and I'm glad
Yeah.
that they're taking the feedback.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Um, but like the clothing was just so expensive. And that's something about Torrid is like one
Cha-ching,
shirt
cha-ching.
is like $45.
Yeah.
And like one pair of pants was like $118. And
Mm-mm.
it's like number one, I'm like a growing teenager at this point and I am changing sizes,
Yeah.
and I could not afford to keep up with it, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And so when I would try to walk into somewhere like Target, because I could be mistaken, but I want to say that Target didn't carry anything past an XL for the longest time. Most stores didn't
They
back in
barely
the
opened up,
day.
I think, to like a 3X not so long ago.
But even the
Mm-hmm.
XXL, I remember not having XXL for a long
Really?
time. Yeah.
Mm.
Um, and it's just like the accessibility of it. Like for a plus size person, I can only speak for myself, but
Mm-hmm.
like it causes me some anxiety when I'm like going to an event or something and I'm on a short time crunch because even the sizes themselves vary so much. Like
Yeah.
one store's 2X could
It's kind of
be perfectly
overstimulating.
fine and then another store's 3X could be too small.
Yeah.
And so it's not even like the same across the board, which is also annoying.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, yeah, so as I grew up, I kind of like figured my way, like figured out my own style, but it wasn't until I got older, like I want to say like my mid 20s until I really started getting more into like my look.
Yeah.
Like I feel like when I was younger, I was trained to like we need to literally just get clothes on your body. And it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't matter what the clothes look like and it doesn't matter how you look. We just need to make sure that you're clothed,
Yeah.
you know? And so that's kind of the mindset I had when it comes to fashion.
Yeah.
I didn't really care about my look. I didn't really care about like the quality of my clothes.
Yeah.
And then like as things became more accessible, like, say what you want about Shein. Obviously it's not an ethical company, but like
Mm-hmm.
the accessibility portion I think is really vital for plus size women because it's not really a lot of companies you can easily order a 4 or 5X
Mm-hmm.
and have it arrive to you in 3 days. Like if you're going to
Mm-hmm.
an event and you need a nicer dress and it's also affordable, and I
Yeah.
think like a lot of people I've seen on social media put like this morality clause on
Mm-hmm.
like buying fast fashion. And I do understand that because obviously, like I said, it's not being produced ethically.
Mhm.
But as someone who's plus size, and again, I addressed this in the beginning, but I'm going to address it again like throughout the podcast. Like obviously I'm on a weight loss journey and I understand my privilege as someone who is a smaller plus size person.
Mhm.
If I needed to go into Target and find something, I probably could.
Mhm.
However, V knows this, like I haven't always been this size. There was a
Mhm.
point in my life where I was almost 400 pounds. And so for me, as I get smaller, I'm going to continue my advocacy for women that are all sizes, including
Mhm.
Victoria size and bigger than Victoria size,
Mhm.
because it's just like everybody should be able to go into a physical brick and mortar location and find clothes that fit them.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why that's such a problem. Like, why does it bother you guys that we think you should stock a 5X? And
Mhm.
people always say, oh, well, then that's going to motivate people to just stay their size. I promise you, anyone who wears a 5X is not looking at a clothes that fits them and think, oh, thank God I can fit. I'm going to just get bigger. No,
Yeah.
everybody deserves basic rights. Everybody deserves to be able to find clothes that fit them.
I
Like, that's a
agree.
human right to me. Like,
Yeah.
and so, yeah, say what you want about fast fashion, but like, a person who's a 5X can go to Shein right now and find a whole wardrobe for a weekend trip just like anybody else.
Mhm.
When you're a regular person who's straight sized and you go on vacation, yeah, you're going to go to a place and you're going to buy a wardrobe for yourself and call it a day.
Yeah.
And I think that plus size people should be able to do that too in an affordable way.
Mhm.
There is companies that are sustainably made. So like if you guys, I don't know where everyone's watching from, but in Los Angeles there's a company that I'm a really big supporter of called Big Bud Press.
Never heard of
So
it.
it's a Los Angeles based company. They make their clothes here in LA.
Mhm.
So it's made ethically and it's really high quality clothes and they go up to a 6X.
Oh
And
wow.
so like I'm like we need more companies like this that are not going to shy away from um like plus size clothing. And this is the last thing I'm going to say because I've just been yapping,
It's
but
okay. We
I have
love
a
it.
I have a lot to say about this topic because I like this was a big like trauma point for me as a
Mhm.
young child, because again, like when I look back on photos of myself and pictures of myself and I look at all my friends, like they're all dressed all cute, 90s Y2K, like with the mini skirts and this and that. And I am literally dressed like someone's 60-year-old auntie at an office party. Like,
Bruh.
I'm so serious. So, yeah. But,
But hey, you're the rich auntie
right, period. Rich auntie, big mama, no kids.
now. Period.
The last two things I wanted to say is as someone who's on a weight loss journey, I think it's really crazy when people who were much bigger lose weight and then start working with brands that didn't carry the size that they had when they were bigger.
Mm.
And that is a big point of contention for me. And I told myself,
Mhm.
I made a promise to myself that when I make it and I start getting offered brand deals, that I'm only going to work with a company that carries plus size.
I love that
And I
idea.
think that that's really important because a lot of people lose weight and like go from being,
In that shape, yeah.
SSBBW or just a regular BBW to like straight sized. And then all of a sudden they're working with all these brands that would never give them clothes if they were bigger.
Mhm.
And so I've made a promise to myself that when I make it, because I know that I am, and I start getting
Period.
offered brand deals and all this different stuff, we're manifesting it, that I'm not going to be working with brands that don't offer at least a 3X. That to me is the minimum.
Okay. I love that.
Like 3X, 4X, I think should be the minimum. And even higher than that is ideal, because
Mhm.
everybody deserves to get clothed. And then the very last thing I want to say is as someone who's a thrifter, like I love to go thrifting, please stop. If you wear a size small, please stop buying up all the 3X and 4X clothes. I'm seeing this trend online of people buying like
Bigger baggy
4X
clothes.
shirts and then wearing them with little booty shorts and be like, oh, I love these oversized tees. Like, those oversized tees are
Bitch,
meant
that's
for,
supposed to be mine.
yeah, are meant for plus size people. Like, you guys are annoying. Just go to Michael's and make your own t-shirts. And leave all the plus size clothes in the thrift store for us. Okay?
I do have to agree with you on some of those points because, you know, as a plus size girl, like growing up, like I didn't have that luxury, like whatsoever. Like my grandma was, you know, as you know, and you may know, I grew up in like the foster home. So like, well, parts of the foster home. My grandma, like, she would take me to swap meet. That's my place where I would go. Sometimes Walmart. My mom would shop at Walmart.
Oh,
But
I
like,
forgot about Walmart.
yeah,
People sleep on Walmart too.
I grab them there every week. She calls me, she's like, "Hey, worry, like, what are you up to?" I'm like, "I'm at
Walmart.
Walmart." But yeah, like, you know, sometimes Walmart, you know, when I was younger, but again, didn't have the luxury, you know. I didn't know what Catherine's was, so that's kind of, you know, but I would go shop at the swap meet, and it would be like maybe I think every school year, and maybe like D's. I don't know if you heard of D's.
Yes,
Yes,
I've been there before.
D's
Yeah.
would be the top spots for jeans because as a plus size girl, my jeans would rip. So like my grandma would be like, "Hey, how are your jeans? How's everything?" And you know, we would go shop, but like I was a bigger girl, and so I did not fit the teenagers. It was the juniors plus and all of that. And then sometimes the older women's, you know, size. My grandma was a lot smaller. So like when I would go shop with my grandma, like she would shop the little girl section and I would shop the bigger women's, you know? So like my grandma, like she never judged me for it, but she'd be like, "Hey, like you need to be careful because your jeans are ripping in the middle, like, you know, because of thigh rubbing, you know?" So it would be very difficult. Sweaters, sweaters were very hard because like the chest as you know a girl growing her boobs out and stuff like it would be very difficult, you know. And my grandma was very petite. She had the kind of the thick thighs, but it was very different. Like I was more of the bigger girls in the family, so it was very much more difficult because like I was seeing them wear these cute clothes. Like one of my cousins, she's you know very petite. She's very skinny, so like it would be, "Oh, I'm gonna go shop in these cute little sections," but when it would come to me, I'll be like, "Oh, I gotta go to the old lady
Yeah.
section." And so, like, don't get me wrong, some of them had cute stuff, some of them have cute designs, but I'm just like, I want to look like a granny, you know? And
Yeah.
like in school, it would be very difficult because I would be like, damn, like, I wish, you know, like, I like her sweater or I like her shirt, or, you know, just in general, like, hey, like, that's a cute top, but oh wait, you can't wear that because you're a bigger girl. So like it was very difficult, but it, you know, growing up, like I didn't have that luxury, so like my grandma would shop on a budget. Underwear and bras were the worst, I feel like, because you would see these
The
cute
bras, especially.
because
Yeah.
it's like I remember this one time we
It
went to a
cut
swap
into
meet.
my skin.
Yeah, like we would go to the swap meet, and we didn't have the luxury of going to the mall because of course we're on like on a fixed income. But we would go to the swap meet, and I did not like no one touching my no spots.
She
So
said, You're not supposed to touch me there."
no, for real. And like she was like getting up in there and I was just like, "Grandma," like, you know, my grandma's like, "No, mija, like it's gonna be okay." And I'm like, she's touching me in my no spots. And the lady, she's like, "Pick up your arms." And remember, like I had bigger arms. So she's like she's literally like this, watch, like she's grabbing them and she's like tugging at them and I'm like, "Grandma," like, you know, my grandma's
She
like,
said,
yeah, no, for real. And I was so embarrassed. I was like, damn. And she was trying to get the sizing. And then, like, she did all of that just for her not to have my raw size. And my grandma was like, "Okay, well, we probably have to go somewhere else." But again, she was like, "Maybe we need to go to Didi's for you." And, like, as a young girl, you're just like I don't have a normal body like these other girls, you know? So like it was very difficult. And yeah, I was very emotional. Like, you know, I would be okay, but then when I would go home and be like,
in your own privacy, huh?
yeah, and I'm just like damn, like this sucks, and I have to lose weight. And the next day I would go to school, and like these girls, it was like during middle school, these girls had these cute bras, and mind you, like you're in your preteen era, so
Mm.
like seeing these girls from like the cheerleaders, like they were kind of a little, well, a little too flashy, a little too much, with the football players.
Mm.
So like when I would be around them, mind you, I was kind of like the person that would that knew them but didn't really hang out with them because I was obviously the bigger girl.
Mm.
So I would the next day I would go to school. I would see them with their bras and like the Victoria's Secret bras, and I'm just like, damn, it must be nice. But that's kind of my experience. And then now as I'm older, like it's so expensive online and buying and purchasing the shipping because I think Shein's gone up, right, with like the prices.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like damn, even Torrid, like I love me some Torrid, I love me Walmart, but yes, Torrid fits, it's a good size, but it's too expensive.
It's too
And
expensive.
it's like, I don't know, I just feel like the pricing is just it's too much. And as a plus size girl, you're just like, damn, like do I have to lose weight in order for the size to fit me? And so it's kind of difficult. So that's my take, excuse me. But yeah, that's my take on it.
Yeah. And you mentioned Victoria's Secret, and I want to
Mm-hmm.
tell you a quick story. And you might have,
Mm-hmm.
I think I told you this story
Okay.
already, but they haven't. So
Okay.
when I was in middle school, there was a girl who was thin, and she very loudly in front of me, I think she was trying to be a bitch, honestly,
Mm-mm.
uh, said to one of my classmates,
Mm.
you know, I don't understand why Victoria's Secret is going to start carrying an XXL, because if you're an XXL, then you don't need to be wearing Victoria's Secret anyways.
Ew.
Basically saying if you're plus size, nobody wants to see your panties.
Mm-mm.
Do you guys want to know what size she is now?
Oh, you got the tea.
That girl is like probably a size 24, 26 now. And I think it's so funny because she's not even a 2X. She's probably a 3, 4X.
Karma does not
And
miss.
there's nothing wrong with that, obviously. But it's just
Mm-hmm.
like, what, you never know. You
Don't
really
think your
never
shit
know. I've
does the
gained weight.
smoke.
I've lost weight. I've gained 130 pounds, lost 60 pounds, lost 100 pounds, gained, lost, gained, lost. You know, your body changes as a woman with childbearing and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think accessibility, it's like this goes along with a lot of things in life. Just because it doesn't apply to you doesn't mean that we don't need it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even if you are a straight size person, I think that all of us should be working together to try to get clothes for people of all sizes.
Yeah.
Why does it have to apply to you in order for you to care? You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right, guys. So, to wrap things up, we want to introduce a new segment that we're going to be including at the end of every episode called Petty Clip of the Week.
Mm-hmm.
Cheers. So, what's going to happen is one of us is going to find a clip online that we want to discuss. Sometimes they'll be plus size related, and sometimes they won't. And we're going to basically just put it up on the screen and then discuss it after. So, this is the Petty Clip of the Week.
Trust a fat personal trainer.
Heck no.
Why?
How politically incorrect am I allowed to be?
It's my channel. It's not yours. I'm the one gonna get banned.
All right, at the end of the day, muscle size, muscle shape, that's something that can be a little bit out of your control, but everybody can control their body fat levels. So when I see somebody that can't control their body fat levels trying to get other people in shape or do stuff, then I'm like, all right, there's an issue here.
Trust a fat personal trainer.
Not a snowball's chance in hell. I'm not gonna trust somebody that can't stop eating, Like if they're fat and they're like, yo, I'm gonna help you not be fat. It's like, no, you and I are gonna get in trouble together and you're gonna lie and I'm gonna lie.
So that was a lot. As you can see, this personal trainer is going around the gym asking gym bros what they think about plus size personal trainers, or as he said, overweight personal trainers. And I definitely feel like this guy's egging them on.
Oh yeah.
Like, I
for
feel like
sure.
he's definitely like because the first guy said, "Oh, well, how brash can I be? Am I gonna get canceled?" And he's like, "Well, this is my page, and I don't give a fuck." And like that type of like red pill content, like energy, when it comes to gym bros, turns me off completely. I'm gonna just say this: I am plus size. I weigh a lot more than people think that I weigh. And oftentimes when I walk into the gym, people think I'm first starting out until they see my workout and they see what I can do in the gym, how much I can lift, all of my workouts. If you guys want to see my workouts, this is my page. You can go check them out. And a goal of mine is to become a personal trainer. But because of men like this, I'm scared to become a personal trainer until I reach my goal weight. I feel like there is like a lot of stigma around being plus size and being in the gym. And this is exactly why, because people are talking shit about you. And I would much rather get weight loss advice from somebody that's lost weight. Like that shouldn't be a novel concept. If I had to choose between two trainers, one trainer who's been skinny their whole life and athletic their whole life and played baseball and soccer and football and every other sport and has abs and has this and that. And they obviously look really good, they look really trim, they look really athletic. And I need to lose 100 pounds. Or am I going to go with a trainer who's plus size, but they themselves have lost 100 pounds naturally, doing it through diet and exercise? I'm going to choose the one who's plus size. And by physically looking at them, you may think, oh, well, they don't know what they're doing, but you don't know where they fucking came from. Like somebody that was 400 pounds and is now 300 pounds, that means they lost 100 pounds. And regardless of what you think a personal trainer is supposed to look like, that's besides the point. I think this kind of rhetoric and the way that this guy went about it was very disrespectful. And I think this is why so many plus size people don't want to go to the gym, because guys like this,
it's scary,
are conducting interviews around the gym when people are trying to work out, asking them questions about fat people. Like, that's so backwards to me. And I know that you mentioned you had an experience with a personal trainer too, right?
Yeah. He's offered to try to be my personal trainer, but as a female, I'm more comfortable with females.
Okay.
You obviously offered me the help,
I did.
Once I'm ready at my steady weight.
Yeah.
But as a man, he was plus size, he's worked with plus size women, but it's still very scary because a man's ego is very scary, especially on that video. That clip was, I can't.
Yeah.
Guys, that's it from us tonight. Thank you for joining us. As always, don't forget to subscribe, share, and like. And have a good night.
Cheers.